Hi, what are you telling yourself about your fibromyalgia? What's your story? My story, my name is Lynn, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. And my story up until I was diagnosed was I am exhausted, I'm tired, I'm in pain, I hurt. That was my story. I was depressed. I had too much to do. I was overwhelmed and I couldn't function. That was my story. And then I was diagnosed. I was depressed, went on to antidepressants and had horrendous side effects to it, to the point where I was attempting suicide. So I was hospitalized to get off the meds because you definitely don't want to get off them in a quick hurry. So during that time, and that was when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia because of the pain I was having, because apparently that was what I was ignoring the pain and just popping over-the-counter medication to manage. Anyhow, during my after being diagnosed, I was suggested that I go to a support group because I was told that it's not curable, it gets worse, and you may lose your job, and life isn't wonderful. So you need to go get some support. So I went to the support group, walked into the room with my friend who has fibromyalgia as well. And I walked into that room, saw people sitting there, rubbing the arms like I was doing at the time, in pain. Some of them came in walkers. Some of them came with somebody helping them. Some of them came in wheelchairs. At that moment was the moment that I changed my story. I looked at that and said, there's no way I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. I have young children at home. This is not what I want. And at that moment is when I changed my story. Now, did I realize I changed my story? No, I just figured that out actually listening to Tony Robbins yesterday when he said that when people make changes that are lasting, it's because they change their story. And I have been trying to figure out, now I have not had pain, certainly not fibromyalgia pain, for over 15 years. I feel great. I have lots of energy, and yeah, and I am actually, now I'm in my late 60s. So for a long, and I probably had it prior to being diagnosed for quite a while. Anyhow, you'll notice that I say that I was diagnosed with it. I do not say that I have it. That's because I changed my story. And I didn't realize that until Tony Robbins was talking about it yesterday. That's how you make lasting changes. Because I have always wondered why people have done some of the things that I have done, made lifestyle changes, did aromatherapy, did a lot of things that I've been doing that has helped me, but they just go back. And I've been wondering why, what's the difference? But I just figured it out yesterday. It's because I changed my story, and I didn't realize that that's really what the underlying thing was. So I am suggesting to you that you change your story. Everything, and I've known this for a long time, because I've done a lot of self-development stuff and worked with Bob Proctor, and I have been to Tony Robbins things. I'm just doing he has a 5-day free thing right now that's 2 hours a day. So if you want, well, actually it'd probably be closed. Anyhow, he that anything you say, your cells listen to you, and anything you say after I am, your body believes that that's about you, and that's part of your identity. So it's important to be careful about what you say after I am, or I have, or, and you know, in the past, I would say things like, as you already heard, I'm depressed, blah, blah, blah. All those things can't so clear. I'm saying that so my brain doesn't take it in. So your body wants you to do that. If you don't change how you talk to yourself, then you're not going to change. So I'm hoping that if you're on here listening, that you're looking for some changes, and I'm going to suggest that that's the first place is to look at what you're saying about yourself to yourself, instead of saying, you'll notice that if you've been on any of my website or any of my stuff, that I do not use the colors of fibromyalgia. I do not, I always say that I was diagnosed with it years ago. And I used to have pain, because that's not how I don't want any of that back. And if you're on my Facebook group, you'll notice I don't use the fibromyalgia colors either. I don't think that one I think is orange and blue. My website is burgundy. So colors that are not anything close to it is what I've chosen to do, just because it takes away from that identity, so that it's not me. So I just, just another little story is, so I have a friend who has some of the same, has done some of the same training that I have, and we were having breakfast one morning, and I sometimes we say things that we don't even are aware of it, because they're habit. Our body likes habit. I said, that's a pain in the neck. And she said to me, oh, Lynn, so do you have a sore neck? I'm going, oh, now that you mentioned, I do have it occasionally. She goes, do you realize what you just said? And it was like, oh my goodness, that's a habit. So sometimes we just need actually someone else to notice what we are saying that could be contributing to some of what's going on with us. Anyhow, I just want you to check your story. And sometimes we need help with that. And if you need some help with telling yourself a different story, I'm happy to help you. You can contact me. My contact information is below there. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would appreciate it. Thank you. And I do also, sometimes when we're trying to make changes, we need some help with that. And I do have a subscription there, where you will get weekly, you get a newsletter with tips and action plans to help you on your journey to enjoy life again. And it's the information about that. The link is below there to get it. And if you want any information about it, you can contact me too. So tell a good story about yourself so that you can feel better. Thanks for listening.